live. We are officially live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello, hello. Once again, from your friendly neighbors on the We Outside Live podcast. And before I give the proper introduction to the guest that we have today, Mak7teen out of Sacramento, y'all a little reminder of who we are, or if you're tuning in for the first time, who the fuck we are and what we're about. So we are the We Outside Live podcast. What does that mean? That simply means when we get outside and meet some cool ass people like we have in the past, and very much like we got some real authentic people like Mak7teen today. Hey man, there's nothing off limits. We're gonna talk what we gotta talk because it is real, it is authentic. Nothing about this is scripted, other than we knew that we were gonna be having an outside conversation with Mak7teen out of Sacramento today, people. So join us. You know, we've broken up to where we do our hip hop history segment as well in a separate time frame, because for us the most important thing is when we have our special guests on is to make sure that we have as best and long a conversation that we could have, and that's the meat and potatoes when we have a special guest on. Well, you can go check out our YouTube channel for all our hip hop history podcasts that we have out there as well, where the discreet alien and I get out there and we just go through the weeks that were, you know, from the 50 plus years of hip hop history, and even what's come before hip hop, even way before when. So that's where we're at. We are in Sacramento today. Again, as I said at the top of the show, we got Mak7teen up in this place today. And let me tell you, man, we were just talking. We were just talking discreet when you hopped off one of the first times before you came in. The appreciation that we have for Sacramento and the music that's coming out of Sacramento.
I know so many, I've met so many people to do with music from Sacramento.
It's been dope. Yeah, I mean, our first guest that we ever had from Sacramento was Lil Six, which Mak7teen. I know you've done some tracks with Lil Six as well. So shout out to Lil Six.
Shout out Six,
you know,
for sure.
Lil Six is crazy.
Man, we've had OG Dooney on in the past, and let me tell you, man, like, it's one thing to get to know Sacramento from the music, right? But I've had the pleasure about 3 weeks ago. I spent a full week with OG Dooney in Kansas City, right? And so I just want to touch on this real quick, Mac, because I think it's important and relevant to the conversation that we're going to have today. Because I'm gonna hand it over to you. That way you can let all the outsiders know exactly in your own words who you are and what you're about and what your music's about, right? But aside from the music in Sacramento, the realness that comes with that, right? Like getting to spend a week with OG Dooney, like literally living under the same roof for a week. Man, you talk about real. Like, I don't think it's any realer than Sacramento, and I'll even take it a step further. You know, for people that are famous, like somebody who was from Sacramento by the name of X-Rated. I had the luxury and the honor and privilege of getting to meet him in person a few times as well during that week we were in Kansas City. And one thing that I took away from that experience, getting to meet him, getting to meet Tech9 as well, they're real people. And it was very refreshing for me as a fan, right? First and foremost as a fan, to go in and meet those people that from a music standpoint and how they move as men, to then really know, this is exactly what they are. And that's very feeling that I got from Lil Six when we had him on this conversation. And Mak7teen, bro, that's the real talk, bro. That's the whole reason I reached out to you, in the sense that getting to know you the last couple months and chop it up with you here and getting to know your music as well and what you stand for. From what I know, right? And we're gonna learn some more today. You're a real bro, and your music is real, and I appreciate the fuck out of that, bro. And I'm thankful for artists like you and people like you who tell you, who speak the truth, right? So I wanted to say thank you for that. And with that said, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Mak7teen. Yeah, man, for the alien too. But we're going to turn it over to you, Mak7teen, and take a moment or two, just introduce yourselves in your own words. Let the people know outside here with us today who you are, what you're about, however long you want to take, bro. And then we'll just get into some free-flowing conversation from there, if that's cool with you.
Yes, sir. No problem at all. No problem at all. You know, it's Mak7teen from Sacramento, man. South Sac's finest. You know, just been in the game, man, for a while. Traveled down these roads since the late '90s. You know, early 2000s. It was cool. Jumped in with on some projects with Hollis. I wasn't going by Mak7teen then. Then I was in a
Mm,
group called the First 100, and which branched off into another group called Freeport's Finest or FP's Finest. And we got on a couple compilations. I rapped with Young Sick and Boodog from Rolling 1000 Click. Got on their album. J Killer was another artist, and then Emo, Mr. G. I mean, I've been working with a lot of people. I've had the pleasure to record, video record, you know, San Quinn and, you know, Meet Mac Mall. You know, those are legends. So it's like
yeah.
me doing what I'm doing and working with the people I'm working with has always been a pleasure. But, you know, once again, I'm from South Sacramento, Freeport. Um, I work tough with everybody that you know has something good to offer when it comes to this music.
Mm,
I just basically put my life into it. You know,
yeah.
the things that the things that I've went through over the years, the situations I've learned from, the people I've learned from. You know, and just keep building from there. You know. From 2004 to 2015, I was on the run, so I really couldn't continue doing the music. So I had to do my own thing. But my mom passed away, so it made me want to change my life. And in
Mm,
doing so, I had to change my music. I was no longer living by the street code. I was, you know, now living by a different code of ethics, which was getting your shit together.
mm.
So I said, why not put something together that's real versus fronting and acting like I'm still in the streets and I'm really, you know, out here doing all this other stuff that's only adding to the bullshit that got my son killed. You know, my son that got killed in 2021. So it's like,
Sorry
bro,
to hear
I
about
just,
it,
yeah, I gotta just, you know, keep pushing forward, push through this. So
bro.
we created a project, me and Mr. G, created a project called Your Worst Nightmare. Emo put it together, engineered it, and got the videos together. I mean, since 2016, man, I just haven't looked back. Like it's just all about this music. It's all about trying to enlighten the people and give them something that they can go off of, other than just constantly, you know, killing or constant drug dealing, constant, you know,
I agree.
uh, gunplay. You know, it's just always it's we have a
Same
lot of
shit.
that already.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like we got a lot of that, but what don't we have? And we don't
yeah.
have a lot of people out there showing the change that they went through as they grew into becoming a man. We still have rappers out here in their 50s trying to hang out with the kids with their lingo, you know, and influence them to do dumb stuff. And it's like, bro,
Well, one of
enough
my
is
favourite
enough.
tracks that I've heard of yours today, quite uh, goes well with this conversation. The Ugly Truth. Really, I love that track. It's so unique. That piano melody in it is fucking. It's very unexpected, but it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
I
feel
love.
exactly what you're saying. That's why I picked that beat.
Yeah,
I was like,
and then it switches. It's the way it switches into that other mode as well.
yep,
It's kind of a
yep.
track. I love
Yes, yes. I appreciate you for noticing that because once
it.
again, that's the same thing that I noticed when I heard it. I was like,
Mm.
ooh,
It's an unusual
ooh,
beat, isn't it?
ooh. I think
But
I
it's
could
good.
create something to that.
Yeah.
So, you know, on what you're saying, when it comes to music, how I create it is I listen and I allow it to talk to me.
Mm.
So
I've
when
heard
the
that
music
before.
is talking, it says this is the topic, this is the subject, this is how you should say it, this is the rhythm pattern you should fall in order to complete this. And then I go on that and I build
Yeah.
on that. You know, so I've had to do my own production, I've had to do my own engineering, I had to do my own everything
Mm,
except for videos. So
But
I'm
that's the
learning
way
how to
you
do
learn.
that.
There's a lot of learning, and it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm learning how to do that now thanks to Emo.
Mm,
Emo TV. He does everything for my videos. I did one with Jay Synth, which was a blessing.
mm.
Jay Synth is a super videographer out here. He's a super guy with the camera. So,
Awesome.
everybody, he works with E40. He keeps E40's videos looking crisp and clean, so everybody wants to
Yeah,
work with that guy. And we
yeah.
appreciate him.
Same. Yeah. E40's a
Yes,
legend.
sir. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Mm.
Anybody working with him is going to end up becoming a legend as well. So that's
Huge fun.
that's what we're working to, trying to become those legends so that we can put out the information and the product into the people and then bless the people with showing them how to get on too. But once again, that's where we at with it.
No,
Mm.
it's a beautiful thing. I want to touch on something real quick that you said there about learning all the things that you would learn on your own, right? And in that time, building yourself as an individual, making sure you surround yourself with the right collaborators, colleagues,
Yes.
team as a whole, right? And it really hits me because I shared last of my experience of people, right? And I've always put feet on the street, and Discreet's dope at that. But I had the pleasure of working with Jay Easy. You mentioned an E40 and all them dudes. Jay
Right.
Easy, Highway, Kansas City, stays out in that area out in the Bay these days. And I had an experience with him over the summer that I shared socially yesterday. From being a vulnerable, it was a vulnerable scenario for me, right? Because I had been self-produced, kind of to what you're talking about earlier. This whole entire time, I would literally just tell Discreet, "Yo, send me a beat. I love this beat. Bet. Let me write to it. Yada yada yada." And that was my whole entire full circle EP. Discreet helped me produce it. On the front end where he could. My man Van, shout out to Van up in Colorado, and B Norman's Productions. Helped me in the studio along the way. But as far as like the structure of the song, what's going to go where, that was all me. Because I'm not musically trained. Like I've just loved hip hop ever since I was 8 years old. Like real talk. Like once I heard Das Effects' They Want Effects way back in the day, I was like, yo, this is what the fuck I want to do when I grow the fuck up. And 35 years later, I'm finally doing that, right? Like a lot of bullshit got in between this and that. And I say all that to say this: getting to work with JPZ, who works with the likes of E40s of the world. Richard by Richie Rich, brand new album is dropping tomorrow. Every track except one was produced by JPZ. JPZ has done Tech Nine's brand new album that'll be dropping sometime, I'm sure, early in the next year. Surround yourself with the right people, because there was a conversation in building a song, never being produced ever, like on the front end of building a track, right? Like, man, like just I said, remember, I hit so many stumbling blocks, right? So many, and there was literally a conversation.
This is how we learn. This is how we learn.
Yo, bro, this dude went in on me on this phone call. He was like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "You're sounding like you're in." I was rapping when I was like 13 years old, and you put out a video. Like, what is wrong with you, bro? I kid you not. I did not talk to him for 2 days. I was like in shock immediately. But I knew I needed it, and I was more processed, right? But it was also an insightful experience to me, because you could ask Discreet. I only speak for myself on things that are black and white and kind of really speak to. But I know, because of that conversation, I have elevated like so much. And like my next project that I'm already working on is going to be so different from a production standpoint when I get the album together. But it is. I wanted to say that because you said a lot of important things. You got to put the right people around you, and if you don't necessarily have access to those people, you got to learn shit on your own. You just have to. You just have to.
You do.
And I appreciate you saying that. And I told you this yesterday, and I'm going to take it one step further, because I told you again today the appreciation that I have for your music and the messages in your music. And I was talking to Discreet before we hopped on today. It very much gives me the same feel of what the message of my music is, right? Overcoming adversities that you've had in life, the struggles that you've gone through in life, because we all have our different struggles, right? We're all humans at the end of the day. but we all deal with shit, right? And we can
Yep.
choose to just, play the woe is me card, or we can embrace it for what it was, what it means to us today as a man, as an artist. And I think you
Hmm.
do that in a beautiful way through your music. So my question to you is kind of start the
Especially
question.
the latest album.
Yes, my time is now.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
There's a lot
the
of
change.
truth.
What you was just saying about how you've changed and getting your shit together.
Hmm.
You can hear it in that new album from the tracks I've listened to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Mm.
that's what that process is. If you go through the catalog, it's kind of like the story of my life, from how I got to where I'm at, to Born for This, to Your Worst Nightmare, to My Time Is Now. The next
The
album is
LP
going to be
Truth.
Elevation. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So all of
Don't
that
forget that
is
one.
yeah, all of that is about, what I mean, showing versus, and showing and telling at the same time. So
Mm.
elevation is about rising above my time, you know what I mean, and going into the next realm of things as an artist,
Yeah.
and then
I
and
like it.
showing how we separated from the street to this business that we call music, and then how we're going to excel and elevate through that,
Mm.
through the ups and downs, no matter what. A
Exactly.
lot of people give up. A
Mm.
lot of
Oh,
people
too true.
stop. You know,
No,
and
that's a true story.
and when you're doing something that you love,
Yeah.
when you truly love, I truly love this. I've been doing this since I was in high school. The one thing that I can't let go of is music, because it's
Same.
become a part of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've
It's a
listened
part of
to it.
you.
We've, from the womb to the tomb, music will always play in our head.
Yeah. And plus, the biggest factor for me personally, my mum, she heard my music for the first few times. She said,
Yeah.
"Don't you dare stop." And she's passed now, so do you think I'm stopping? No way.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, my mom passed away in 2015 and
Mm.
told me that, like, she said, son, can you do me a favor? I said, yeah, mom, what's that? She said, can you please take your music more serious? And I'm like,
Mm.
I
Wow.
do, mom. She's like, no, I mean, I think you could reach a wider audience if you would just change the content from cussing so much
Mm.
to, using your words, using your vocabulary. I raised you better than that. And I'm like, all right, okay, mom, whatever. Yeah,
That's
I'm
what
gonna
does
do
it.
that. I'm gonna do that. But
You,
that was on
so
a
many
Saturday.
people could talk to you and give you advice,
Yeah,
but when it comes from your own mum, it's like, right, I'm listening.
bro, she told me that on a Saturday and died on a Tuesday after.
Oh, damn, man.
So
But
do
it
you
stayed
think
with
I'm
you.
giving up? Yeah,
Hell no, you're gonna keep on going, bro. You're gonna keep on going,
bro.
and
There's
as it should be.
Then my son passes away, gets murdered. You know what I mean? 5 years later, and he loved the fact that I was doing music. That was the thing. His dream was to get there too. You think I'm giving that up?
No way.
No, because you're not just doing it, and certainly correct. My takeaway from that is, it sounds like when you first started on your musical journey, it was for you, about you. But now, unfortunately, mom's passing and the tragedy that happened with your son back in 21, it seems like you're carrying it more, not just for yourself, but you're bringing them along for you. Would I
Yeah.
be correct in kind of
Yes.
that kind of? I don't want to make an ass out of you or
Yes.
me. Definitely not
No.
you,
No.
me. It
No.
is
No.
what it
You
is.
good?
But that's my assumption.
No.
If that's correct
Yeah.
or
No.
not.
And you're not wrong in that. You're not wrong in that. You're absolutely correct. There, carried with me is FMJ Life Forever Missing JoJo. I tag that all the time. You know what I mean? Because he won't come back. There's no way of getting my son back. Just 11/17, my oldest was shot. Somebody ran up on our spot and shot my son. It was gonna shoot up the house. I don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. But what I'm saying, regardless to what, I'm not giving up. I'm not stopping. We're just gonna keep going forward, pushing through this and utilizing that energy that makes me want to give up to go harder. So, as they say, if the devil got plans on making me quit, I got God on my side. G's up. You know what I'm saying? God is universal power. You know what I'm saying? Universal protection, universal peace once you really accept God within you. So that's another thing I hashtag G's up. You know what I mean? Because I believe in God. I
Yeah.
don't care what you believe in. We all understand that there's something out there that is a higher power
It's a
towards.
fact. Of course it is.
It, you can believe it ain't. That's only proving it is.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
regardless to what, the energy exists.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
And it's within us to decide which energy we're going to use, the good or the bad.
Because they're both trying to get to us.
Yes, it's all about which one you feeding more. Which one you gonna
Exactly.
feed?
Mm.
No,
The
that's
So I
devil
feed
and
the
them.
good, and I
They
feed
both
the
got
good
plans.
wolves.
Mm.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah. So
about surrounding yourself with the right people, when it comes to music or whatever you do. And I think it's a valid point to make right now. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people in life as as well.
Yes, it
Because
does.
like it or not, especially as the elder generation, right? Like I'm 43, I've got a 10-year-old myself, and other kids along the way, or just people in general. I mean, people who are grown adults, especially with how I move as an entrepreneur and what we do. Like people say say stuff to me all the time, and it's like, all right, that's cool, and you realize that, and you know what's going on, but the next step is, are you gonna take action with that?
Exactly.
Right?
exactly.
And I think that's what it has to be, because people can talk and talk, but can they walk a walk? And not only from your music, from what we got to learn, but just from this short 20 minutes that we've already been on Mak7teen, like bro, like you're not only talking the talk, but you're walking the walk, and you're living it. All the things that you have shared with us already, and the things that we know about South Sacramento and Sacramento in general, from the people that we've got to learn from and learn about that area more. It's real out there. It's real.
To me,
It's a war.
Sacramento
It's a
slept
battlefield.
on.
Yes,
Man, yes.
yes.
I've
super slept
heard
on.
of so many underground artists from Sacramento. Sorry, the echoes. But there's so many out there, and like I just think, is it only musicians in Sacramento? Everyone I hear from Sacramento makes music.
Yeah, that's a blessing and a curse here. We have, like I said, 100,000 artists, 50,000 producers, 1,000 videographers. And it's like that. It's like that. But I'm exaggerating with the numbers. But we have rock and roll, we have rap, we have, you know what I'm saying, blues, we have jazz, we have everything in Sacramento. It is a music town. You know what I mean? They used to stop on their way through going to San Francisco and Oakland and going to LA. They'd stop in Sacramento and perform at the nightclubs too. It's just we don't have that metropolitan business hub for music here, and that's the only thing that's missing. If we had a Capitol Records and we had a Universal Music Group stationed here in Sacramento, we'd be mainstream. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And I feel you there, and that's one thing. And because I live in Oklahoma City now, Mac. I was in Colorado. I was from 2011 to last year or whatever the fuck it was that I moved. And I feel you there, right? Because there's a lot of artists out here. There's a lot of people very similar to what you're saying in Sacramento. Again, I'll speak on what I know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think there's as much talent in Oklahoma City when it comes specifically to the rap scene as there is in Sacramento. And I could say that because I live here. I go to the spots all the time, and I appreciate the people trying. Right? Like I will never hate on anybody for creating something ever. But the point that I'm making is the same point that you make. There's not really a true scene, right? So you've got to. It makes it more challenging to create your own lane, especially when there's really no scene. Whereas, like in comparison to Kansas City, where we're moving to as soon as possible, and we've been there full time, in the last 6 months. Like you could go out on a Tuesday, a Monday or a Tuesday, bro. You can throw a stone, and there's live music as many places you can go get a
That's how
fucking
you
cup
want
of
it.
coffee at a Starbucks, right? You know what I mean?
That's how you
And
want
it's
it. That's what you want.
and what even blew my mind, honestly, and it really blew my mind when we were there 2 weeks ago. We went out to this place called the Phoenix Jazz Club. Rob Tripp, shout out to Rob Tripp out of Kansas City, dope ass piano player. And it was just kind of like an open mic night type of deal, right? And so people just coming out of the crowd who don't, maybe they had a career in the past, maybe they just love music, but random people that, like, if I saw them in Oklahoma City going that stage, I'd be like, oh, bro, all right, this time to smoke maybe, or pop out music, be entertaining, and not necessarily in the best of ways. But man, like,
Right.
people walking out of that crowd on a Tuesday night and just getting at it. I was just like,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
wow.
That's beautiful.
It's because you feel it. Like you said it earlier, music is a feeling. You got to feel that shit to really get it. Which is the same way that you kind of talked about how you do your music and you build your tracks, right? So I agree with you, man. Like, if there was something available, like in the Kansas City, to like even in Sacramento, bro. Skyrocketed. Like Sacramento would be one of those places I truly think that people talk about when it comes to like Atlanta, New York, Houston, because y'all have your sound. Y'all have your own sound, and it's something that Discreet and I very much. That's definitely more kind of like what we listen to, what we gravitate to, kind of like that Sacramento sound. So it's appreciated, right? But with that said, I'm gonna ask you this question, because I definitely want to make sure before I forget, because we sometimes get into conversation and we forget about some shit. So before I do forget about anything, I want to ask you specifically to your most current album, My Time Is Now. What was your inspiration in putting that project together?
The backstory on My Time Is Now is 2019, right before COVID hit. I was creating crazy. I mean, I'm going to the lab, making song after song, on top of like just grabbing beats from wherever I could find them. And Emo said, bro, you got about 3 albums over here right now, right? And I'm like, I do. So I'm listening to the songs and I'm like, bro, there's no way I could put this shit out right now. I'm not well known enough for people to really feel and grasp. I haven't done anything. He said, well, you know what you got to do? So that's when we started taking the show on the road. And I had to make a name, but then COVID hit. So me and Mr. G ended up linking up and making an album. We had to work on his GWO album, and then we had Your Worst Nightmare to create, and we created that on our own. But once again, it was like, okay, so now what? And I'm like, dude, it's like, it feel like it's my time, but I can't do it right now. I'm like, I still have more work to do in this damn COVID that killed everything. So I said, okay, we're going to give it a few years. I was like, 2023, no, 2020, 2024. 2 2s and a 4, 4 4. Man, that's an 8. That locks in. 1 plus 7, 17. That's an 8. Oh, we got to do it. 2024 is my time. My time is now, because I'm into the esoteric things. I'm not going to hide it or sugarcoat it. I'm into the hidden knowledge and understanding and the numbers and numerology. So, I be really tripping off of that when I see it. I'm like, wait, oh, that's perfect timing. So then I created an album cover to fit that with the white rabbit on the front, because he always was saying, I'm late for a date. You know what I mean? That was his number one thing always being said. So I was like, I was like, the rabbit hole that people go down, follow the right rabbit. I said, bro, okay, I got to put something else onto this to make it more standoutish. So then I added the tree of life, and then I added the flower of life to it in a 3-dimensional way, put the rabbit on front of that, add the clock, the time. Oh, perfect. You see what I'm saying? So that was like the first initial thing that I needed to do before I added all the music to it. So once I got that there, I said, now look at that album cover. Bless you.
Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that album cover though. Like it's saying something. So every song you put on this has to say something. So I then throughout the singles, Real Life, Now or Never, and Another Day, Another Way, and allowed that to give the people a little bit of chance to get used to the album when I drop it. So then when I did drop it, I made sure that every song on that album correlated with that feeling of breaking free of the shackles that we all have on our minds, believing that the street life is the only life we have.
Mm, mm,
So what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, you're not gonna be a thug forever. You're not gonna be a gangster forever. You're not. If you think that way, then it's like you're really not helping the community. Which that's what we're supposed to be doing. Once we get
mm.
older, we go from messing up to correcting the mess up to helping others not mess up. You
Exactly.
see what I'm saying? And that
Mm,
album is for that.
mm.
It's
I
it's the
like that.
it's like nobody else is telling anybody else these things. Everybody else is trying to get to the bag. They're trying to get a bitch. They're trying to
Exactly.
pimp. They're trying to saying kill
We've heard it
everybody,
all
30
before.
dick this. I'm like, bro, we've heard it all before, but ain't
Yeah.
nobody talking like this. So I'm
Mm,
gonna put it out. And those who gravitate towards it will understand it. Because not everybody is trying to be a gangster.
no.
We about to be we on our way to 50 years old, and I'm still trying to prove to the listeners that I'm tough. Nah,
Mm,
life is tougher. Life is tougher than anybody. Life is tougher than everybody.
mm.
You go out
Facts.
there, you go out there thinking you whooping, everybody's ass. I mean, yeah, you could fight them all and beat them all, and then end up Muhammad Ali. Parkinson's or hands shaking
Mm,
or some
exactly.
type of concussion from all these victories. But you can't read or sign the contract or sign your name on a check or sign the dotted line. You can't even make an X.
Mm,
So, not every battle is worthy of fighting. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Some people go for the victory, but then end up losing their family at the same time as they winning. And that's the story of my time is now.
Mm,
Like I, everything that I've went through has brought me to this point. And this is a ledge I'm willing to jump off of to prove to not only myself, but to my listeners that I'm not just a street rapper or I'm not just a hood rapper, saying they could call it gangster conscious rap if they want to, but it's not gangster. But it is gangster because there's nothing more gangster than getting your shit together.
exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
That
if you
part.
really want to be honest, I'm really speaking for the people who need rehabilitation after being going through life and its traumas from addiction. Like, selling drugs. People don't think that selling drugs is an addiction. It's an addiction. You get addicted to selling it, just like the people get addicted to using it.
Mm,
And it's hard. They don't think nobody gives a fuck though. They like, nah, man, whatever. He should have saved his money. Man, do you know what it's like to go from having money all the time to not having any money at all? To go from having it to go directly to struggling and then still
oh,
walking
man.
through that
I
and
tell you
being
what,
someone.
money is one of my biggest stresses. Just keeping it coming
Oh,
in.
it's
Like,
everybody's.
yeah.
Unless you're wealthy.
Mm. I've never been in that
It,
position to not have to worry about it.
none of us have. Those that I
Mm.
mean, I don't believe anybody that listens to my music is wealthy.
No.
Well,
My
you know
music
what?
is
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
my music is designed for the underdog. The
Mm.
people who are losing in life and want to feel like they winning. You know what I mean? That's what my music is for. It's not for the people who's already winning and feel
Mm.
like losing. I don't have that. I don't make that type of music. But go ahead and
I'm
say
not
what you was
gonna.
gonna say, Mike.
No, you're good, and I appreciate that because you mentioned the word wealth, right? We talk about wealth, and I think it brings me to perception, right? Some people, be as discreet. What you were saying about like when I think about wealth, everybody has their own perception, right? Like I think of wealth where like shit, I can go spend whatever I want today, like unless I'm buying something crazy stupid, like a car, a fucking plane, a house,
Yeah.
whatever. Like wealth to me, from that monetary standpoint, if I could ever be so lucky to do that, is literally go do whatever I want today and not have to worry
Yeah.
about my bank account and looking at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And that's hard to attain. And like people, as I said earlier, being an entrepreneur, like
Yeah.
we're real estate investors. We flip houses. Okay.
Mm.
Some people that think they know what it's really about, they sometimes look at me and they're just like, oh, you just have all this money. Nah, man. There's strategies to everything in life. No different than this. You got to have a business plan. You didn't just wake up one day and be
Bro,
like, ah, we're gonna go buy
we
$500,000
spoke before the
house.
live, and you was telling me about certain money worries you've got.
Because
So
also as an entrepreneur, when you're working for yourself, when you're moving in your own lane, you're creating your own lane. Like I don't got a paycheck coming in. Like I'm waiting on some funds to come in that should have been in last month from some
Right.
shit. And now I'm sitting here like I was lucky that I was able to pay the mortgage yesterday. That's real talk. Like
Man, for real.
I work to be broke sometimes.
mm,
And
Real
like,
life.
some people look at me like, oh, you're flipping houses and you're doing this because we strategize enough. But that doesn't mean I don't have money struggles just like everybody else. Like we had to
exactly.
take our cat for an emergency vet appointment today. It's like, how the fuck are we gonna pay? Well, let's move this here, move this
Bro,
here.
Yeah.
I was one of the people who had this perception that someone who flips houses does have money. But then I got to know you and realised they ain't like that.
Nope.
The same with
Mm,
the rap game. Music is
mm,
the same way. Everybody assumes that because you're a rapper, you got money or you could
yeah.
afford, and it's like,
Nope.
nah,
Yeah.
no. This is an expensive. This is one of the most expensive habits I've ever had in my life. The love for
But it's
music.
probably love as well. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's crazy
So,
because no, please, Mac, after you, bro.
oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say. So it's always something that is gonna be looked forward to being done.
Yeah.
Because of the love. I'm like
Yeah.
I'll work. I'll go get a job to supply the money that I need for
Bills.
my. What I'm saying, yeah, for the bills
Yeah.
and for the for the
Same.
love of music. Like, what you mean? I
Exactly
need how
same.
much? I'll go get a
Yeah.
job and go get that. If that's what's needed.
Exactly.
But that's how it is.
No,
No,
I
no.
appreciate that. And what I was saying to that point about, how expensive this is, discreet. I want to share just briefly just your sport, going back into DJing, like you have to make some moves, you got to sell some shit, and make the sacrifice for what you
I
love
mean,
and in this
Yep.
scenario, DJ, like you're gonna go back to producing, but you were not only a last couple months getting that love for DJing as well. You sacrificed time that you have because full-time job, like most people on the come up in this music shit, right? Like
yep.
that's another thing too. People think we just sit around and make beats and are writing. I would love to sit here and write fucking 24 hours a day or record something
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
or make a video once a week, once a month. But there's have to be things that are sacrificed. And discreet, you very much, Mac, have been talking about that today. But discreet, you very much have lived that over the last couple months and getting back to that passion for DJing and putting producing on the back burner, which was strategically done, but it's still
I
a
know.
sacrifice.
I'm missing producing. I cannot wait to get back into it. I've got a new. I've already got so many thoughts going through my head about what I want to do when I get
Oh
back into
yeah.
it. When I've got the equipment.
Yeah. Production is
It's,
fun.
it is. I love it.
It's one of the. I mean, once you get the, it's crazy because it's like you get a download. You don't know where it comes from, but you get a
Yeah.
download and you just start hearing things. You're like, yeah. Hold on, let me go over here to this. Let me get to
Yeah.
the board.
Give me 1
Let me
second.
get to the board. Hold on, I'll be there. I know exactly what. Yeah, no,
Mm.
yeah, no. But what you're saying, Mike, is true though. Sacrifice is the number one thing that you have to do with anything that you are professing in.
Yeah, or
You see what I'm
passionate
saying?
about.
Because if not, then it'll never get done because
Mm,
nobody else is going to do it.
exactly.
It's yours. Own it. Take care of it. Baby it. Nurture it. Feed it. And watch it grow.
Yeah,
But if you don't, it won't. It'll just always remain an idea.
isn't it?
Man, true story. Speaking of production, real quick, I know you said you've learned a lot on your own. Do you do a lot of your own production? Where do a lot of your beats come from? Or is it kind of like a mixed bag from where you're getting your canvases from?
My first three album releases is my production. My next from the songs, like I said, how can I put this? I have albums called From Black to Mak7teen. That was when I was on the run. I was making all my beats and finding beats on the internet that I could write to or whatever. And then I have another one that is called Real Biz No Lie. And that's beats that I got from my friends and some things that I produced, but they suck. Um, it's not like they're not professionally made. They come
You got to
from.
start somewhere. We've all made music that was crap.
Yeah, no, I love it. I just say they suck because it's not my best work, but it was the best work that I created over those years of doing it. And some people like it. Just I have a different type of production in mind that I should write and rap to. So it's so when you hear my albums, you're like, oh, I like this production. That's because I searched for that production,
Yeah.
and that production said, take me, get me, buy me, or said, ask for me, or said, write to me, or you know what I mean. So that's
I get the
where.
impression you always seem to hunt out what you know. Well, sorry, the echo's getting me. Unique sounding stuff.
Yes.
Unique beats, basically.
Yeah, something that nobody else has, but still has
Yeah.
has that punch to it.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I was getting when I was
what I
listening
like.
to your music.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And
Absolutely.
that breeds that authenticity, right? And I stumbled upon the show on Netflix, Discreet, that I was telling you about yesterday, Rhythm and Flow, right? The rap competition. And that's what any judge up there said. And you had together season, you had Eminem, you had Khaled, DJ Khaled on there. Lotto was a judge. Ludacris was a judge, and then they had some other special guests. But everybody said the same thing. And again, these are legends. Busta Rhymes was on there. Mr. Porter was on there. Royce the 5'9" was on there. It's about originality. It's about authenticity, right? Because listen, man, you could be, and I'm not saying this to you. I'm just saying this generally. You could be the worst rapper. You could be the worst rock musician out there from a standpoint of like certain lyrics you're putting out there. Like if there's enough of a melody where people are going to follow along, some people are going to follow along, and if for nothing else, people may not fuck with a certain thing or artist, but they are always going to notice originality and authenticity of what they're hearing. It might just not be for them for whatever the reason is, but to something that you said earlier, Mac, like people can't take that shit away from you. We say it on this show all the time. As an artist of any kind, whether it's music, literally arts, poems, whatever, man, and an architect, in my opinion, especially doing what I do, a designer, that's an artist, right? It's just a different canvas in a house or a building or whatever the case may be in that scenario. But you're giving a piece of yourself away as an artist, and especially when it comes to the music, depending on what you're actually speaking on, and very similar to what you said earlier, as far as your trials, your tribulations, overcoming the things in your life and speaking on your life and the things that you've encountered and went through to get to where you are, to the man that you are today. you have to give yourself you have to give a piece of yourself away, right? For that true authenticity, that authenticity and originality. Is that something that you agree with, Mac? And how much of that really would you say, maybe from like a percentage standpoint, translates into the music that you're putting out?
Yeah, while you was talking, I was like, nah, bro, I put my soul into this. It's not selling it, but it's creating with it. I don't. I tap into the higher mind to create. I don't just put words together that sound good and rhyme.
No.
I really talk and have these conversations because I understand that the words that I'm putting down are coming from my inner mind. The words that I'm speaking out are coming from the outer. So you dig what I mean? This isn't
Yeah.
something that I'm saying. This is something that the inner me is saying. So
Healing.
I'm really speaking from the inner, from in here,
Mm.
and putting it on my phone. You know what I mean? And then I recite it. You get what I mean? I don't go
Yeah.
around saying hat, cat, scat, mat, frat, that
No.
to make, what I'm saying? No, buddy. No. Scarface is one of my, Tupac is one of mine, Sibo, X-rated, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Brother
Sibo.
Lynch,
I love
E40,
Sibo.
Richie Rich, San Quinn and Messy Marvin. I mean, we have so many dope
That's right.
before me artists,
Yeah.
not, and I'm not even gonna mention what we grew up on from the East Coast because
Exactly.
that's the foundation. That's the foundation. There's no reason to even make mention of that because we all grew up on that first.
Oh yeah, that's where it comes from, isn't it?
Yeah. So they know already that they got their props when it comes to the founding fathers of hip hop. But once I found out that hip hop stood for high infinite power, helping our people, I have been pushing that ever since.
Mm. Keep going as well. Not that you need me to tell you.
No, and to be a true master of ceremonies, you must know that, and you must, relay that to your people, and that's all the legends have ever done. So, in order to emulate that, I'm doing that.
I can appreciate that.
Elevation,
It's about paying
elevation,
it forward.
elevation's coming soon. Yes, elevation coming soon. I'm telling you, we working on that, and you're gonna hear it, and you're gonna be like, wow.
Do you know a
And
date for that
to
yet, Matt?
nah, no.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm not
Life, life.
terrible for asking that question. Everyone,
No,
what's the date? What's the date?
it's cool. No, it's cool. It's cool. I was trying to get it out before 2025, but with my son being shot, I might have to just wait until 2025 and let that be the
You gotta respect that.
saying let that be the thing, so I could tend to him first. But you know what I'm saying? It's man, I got Your Worst Nightmare 2, me and Mr. G working on. We're gonna have some other artists on there. I'm not sure who yet, but due to this thing taking place, I have more energy to write and try to help open the minds of the people who are, sleep out there thinking that, just doing random things like this is something that's cool. Like, nah, bro, you guys, we losing ourselves and we need to wake up, no matter where you're
Heart and
from, no
soul.
matter where you're at, no matter what your color is, the ignorant stuff has to stop.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We gotta, raise our vibrations, raise our frequencies. We gotta stand up and say no to the ignorance, man, within us before we do it. Not
I mean,
after the
like
fact.
you say, all this drill music is like talking about killing each other and we're gonna get you, and it's boring as fuck now. It's like, what is this about?
Well, it was
Is it
just
age
something
with
to.
us? Maybe it is.
Yeah, no. It was to distract the next generation, and it worked. Like when the West Coast came and they turned gangster rap into the new thing to do, and it's been so hard.
I think drill's
Before.
even worse though.
Yes, it
I mean, they're
is.
just
It is,
killing each other for fun.
and I'm not trying to knock them because I embrace all artistry, but it's like that right there it's not good because you're repeating it over and over again, and anything you repeat over and over again,
And it's
it's
almost like there's
kind of
no
like a
reason.
spell.
It's just like a game, like a
Yeah, no,
sport. Oh, you got one, we're going to get two.
it's
Like, it's
crazy out
crazy.
here because that's what it's like. It's like if you are good at rapping and you make mention of another artist who isn't good at rapping, they want to kill you now.
Gee, I know, and
Be-
that is what the fuck.
it's like, what? Wait, you said something about me and I responded, and now you want to kill me?
I'm dead.
What?
Well, and the crazy thing
Now I've
is,
got
it's
50
almost
grand on my head.
it's almost like it's becoming the expectation when that
And
happens.
but it's sad,
It's
isn't
like
it?
It's worse than
it's like
sad. It's scary, bro. It's scary.
it's.
Scary and sad.
Are you?
Weird. Like that's the first
I,
initial response.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like you that mad that I'm rapping and responding to you that you feel like you want to kill me? Like, bro, leave me the fuck alone then.
Exactly.
You
Let me.
know?
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's and it, and I don't like knocking anybody's artistry, but drill was just one crazy, thing that came out of Chicago, and they lived up to that.
I
They
do not
really
like.
did. UK drill is living up to it too, even
It's,
though they got
it's even worse
knives and
in
shit.
Korea. I'm
Yeah,
not a fan of UK hip hop at all.
that's crazy.
It's,
That's that's
they all sound the same.
crazy.
They all talk the same shit. There's no
And you know,
diversity in it at all. You've heard one, you've heard them all. Believe me. I'm telling you.
you know what? If their voice, you know what? Now that you said that, I'm thinking about. I'm like, hey, you
Same.
know what? I just heard a new rapper, and he sounded like everybody else, and that's what.
They've all got the same style as well. Bippy bop. It's shut up.
It's almost like the Migos.
Isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
almost how the Migos. It's
The
like
Migos,
every song got the
the
same
Migos are a
pattern.
sore subject on this
Exactly.
show, but it's the truth.
It's the truth. I like I say, I'm
Sorry
not hating. I'm just
if I've
stating the
offended anyone
facts.
in my own country. I apologise. But
Yeah,
it's just
that's
how I
why I
feel.
said that's crazy.
Yeah,
But that's your
like for
opinion,
real,
and you
Mac.
have your right.
You'll probably never catch the street listening to something UK hip hop wise. Like this motherfucker's probably gonna be listening to some fucking like Adele,
Yeah.
Am I right? Street. I mean, you set fire to the rain one time. Like it is what it is,
Bro, you're right. What you just said is bang on.
Hey, if they wanted
I'll
to
listen to
change, they got to
Bieber
change their content.
before fucking UK rap man. I'll listen to Diddy before I listen to UK.
Damn. Damn.
Wow,
No, I'm going too
that's
far now.
true, bro.
I'm going
That's
too far. Can I just say that?
discreet. We might have to move your timeline to moving you up to the
You need to
stage,
edit
bro.
that bit out. I got
Ooh,
carried away.
he said, I'll listen to Baby Oil first.
Discreet, did that really just happen, bro?
Nah, I wouldn't listen to Diddy.
Oh, he
Wait there.
wasn't playing.
You know that
Oh,
CD
man.
incident I had the other day?
Yes.
With they're still stacked here, right? I did have 4. There's 3 there. Here's the latest one. Have a nil. You see this? He did it forever. I just took the CD out.
Oh,
Right? Can you see it?
He's gonna play it for us now. Discreet, I'm kicking you off this live, bro.
take that. Oh, that's that. Take that. Take that.
2 left to go. I'll do it on 2 different lives, bro.
I like it.
Oh.
I like it.
It brought tears to my eyes, man. I
Bro, I
enjoyed
wish I
this.
could give you a hug right now, bro. Like for real.
2 down, 2 to go. Diddy is going down in more ways than one.
That's crazy.
Right, where were
Yeah,
we?
drum roll, please.
Yo, I think we need to change the subject. We could stay
Where
on
were
it,
we?
but
I
this could
took us
become more
right
of a
off track
comedy
then.
show the rest of the way.
I took us right off track.
Discreet, you
Hey,
got us into this hole, bro. You gotta
you
take
got
us
us in
out,
here,
bro.
man. You got to take us out, bro.
We need to backtrack. Where were we?
I need to know, man.
Oh
I need to know. I
man.
need to know.
Oh my
Wait a minute.
Okay,
goodness.
I
here's
am
how we're gonna
finished.
spin out of
I
this.
am
We were
finished.
talking
Wait a
about
minute.
we were
But,
talking about UK drill, right? And drill in general,
Yep.
right? But you know what? Since you brought that up, Discreet, since you brought that person up,
yeah.
and the things that we were talking about before, it's
Sorry, yeah.
style, right? Like you talk about originality in your actual music and your actual art, right? I think you got to have originality. You know, you said something very important, Discreet. Everybody not only sounds the same, but they look the same. And like, how do you differentiate? Like, and I think again, we talked about perspective a little bit earlier, so I want to kind of bring this full circle, pun intended. That just
Yeah.
be
Full
you,
circle.
be authentic, because you're gonna get there's already so many things out there, especially if you're looking, if you're an artist trying to come up in the music industry. There's
Yeah.
so many artists out there. Like, think about how many people are on Spotify or on YouTube. Rap with what
Man.
makes you feel
Billions.
comfortable, because people are gonna latch on to that originality and that authenticity that we spoke on earlier in the show. And again, Mag, you I said that through your music, and you as a whole, getting to speak with you in depth now for almost an hour. And we got to chop it up earlier in the week a little bit as well. Like, that's you. And I will always, you can mark my words, I will always be a fan of somebody who does that one thing. Like, because I'm always going to listen to music.
Yeah.
Like, if I find somebody intriguing, which brought me down that rabbit hole towards you,
Mhm.
I'm always going to listen to something at least once, right? And just because I'm not necessarily spinning something all the time, right? There's only so much time that we have.
Right.
We can't spin like all of our
True.
favorite artists that we're fans of, right? So naturally, you just kind of pick and choose. But you can still be a fan, right? Because there's an appreciation for that authenticity, for
Yeah.
that message
Exactly.
that you were speaking on. And like, man, I will fuck with anybody. I will have anybody six when it comes to the music shit if they do that
Yeah.
one motherfucking thing. That's all I need to be a fan. That's all I need, personally. And you do a
Yeah, I
hell
feel
of a
that.
job. And the beautiful thing is, I love that type of music. I love that type of sound. So you are someone who I'm going to listen to more than something I might just spin the first time and be like, all right, yo, cool. I appreciate it for what it was.
Right.
And I'm just going to
Same.
leave it there.
I love the uniqueness I hear.
Yeah. No, well, I really made it to where it's like, music mantras where, like, if you having a bad day or you feel like you forgot your way or you figure like, like, I don't know what to do. All the music I'm listening to keeps giving me a bad vibe. Play my music, and that's going to change everything. You know what I
I
mean? You're
love
gonna
that.
hear something. You're gonna hear there's another day, there's another way. You know what I mean? You're gonna hear
Yeah,
that it's
that's
either
another good
now or
crack.
never. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
hear amen. You're gonna hear the ugly truth. You know what I mean? You're gonna get lost in transitions.
I've got to say,
That's
Ugly Truth's my favorite.
man. Look, the album is real life. And that's another song. No pun intended, but that is what it's about, and that's what we're living. And a lot of people don't want to admit that we're living in these realities, so therefore they like to avoid reality. But what about the people
Reality
who don't
is
want to
sad.
avoid? Yeah, who doesn't want to, like, what about the people who want to keep it real and really change their mindset? So that's who I'm making music for. The people who's like, man, I'm tired of always listening to this bounce your ass, shake your, killing stuff. I need something where I can play it and just ride down the street and just go a city away or another town away, and I'll be there. I will be there. Along with the other artists that do that same thing. But all I'm trying to do is what is going on right now is help other artists see that you can talk about something other than what everybody else is talking about and still be
The
heard,
typical
still be
shit.
liked. Yeah, man, I'm tired of it. I'm a
Yeah.
music fan. I've been a fan of music since 1976.
Damn,
You
before
dig
I
what I'm
was
saying?
born.
So for someone who grew through that and loves it as much as they do, there's no way that I'm gonna just sit here and listen to you talk about your penis and talk about, the pussy and talk about, spitting on the dick. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah,
I got grandkids, bro.
exactly.
I
That's the
listen to
difference,
music.
isn't it? We got kids now. We don't want to hear that
I
shit.
listen, yeah, I listen to music around them, and I can't play that. I
I'm the
refuse
same.
to play that. I
With
refuse
my
to play that
daughters in
around
the
my
car,
kids.
I do not listen to hip hop. I just don't.
No, especially if it doesn't have. Why would
Mm.
I pull it on something that's going to constantly repeat in my kid's head? Kill that, kill that, kill that nigga, kill that
Exactly.
nigga, kill that.
I'm
Nope.
very conscious of like any song I've got on, and I'll think of lyrics. There's going to be lyrics
Yes.
that I don't want my daughter to hear.
Yeah, man, that's exact. So that's what I created my albums for that don't have cussing in them. I stopped cussing a lot because that was one thing that bothered my mom. She was like, "I like your music, but you cuss too much."
Yeah, you mentioned that
So I
earlier.
said,
Yeah.
"So you know what? I'm gonna change that." And guess what? I'm still making an impact without using cuss words.
Mm.
Only three songs on the album
If you,
have cuss words.
and what I was going to say to that was when you can do that and have a message come across so powerfully without doing that, like it's going to hit. Like for me, as a fan, as an artist as well, I appreciate that because it is going to hit hardest, and like it's more of instead of it just being another word that will just kind of what you're talking about earlier, just rhyme with something along the way, be a filler along the way. When you could limit the amount of curse words, it's gonna be utilized more so for what it's supposed to be, an emphasis of a statement, like the actual message that you're
Yes.
making in that bar, those 4 bars,
Exactly.
16, whatever.
Do you know
piece.
the story of Nas's track? Oh, he sampled a Michael Jackson song. I can't remember what it's called. But he went to Michael Jackson, asked him if he could use the track.
Nas.
Sorry?
Nas. It was Nas.
Yeah.
Like,
And Michael Jackson said, I can't remember what it's called.
One wish. Is it One Wish? Or one? It's the one with the kids.
Is that? No, I can't. But anyway,
If I Rule the
Michael
World.
Jackson.
I think. No.
That's it. I think it is. Michael Jackson said to him, "You can use it, but do not cuss." So if you listen to that track, you take notice. He does not cuss in it.
He doesn't.
No.
Yeah, that's another one. Nas was phenomenal, man. All those artists on that side of the country were dope before Tupac dissed them and made the West Coast, East Coast, beef. But they were dope before,
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything that they have done in order to lay down that foundation, Shout out to the East Coast rappers, man. Down South, Midwest. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody out there that's loving hip hop, man.
That's what it's about. And I have some information for you both. So the Nas track was "It Ain't Hard to Tell."
It ain't hard to tell.
I was trying to do the melody. I don't think it
Human
come out right
nature.
now.
Human nature was the sample.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fucking circus, doesn't it?
One of the last couple things that I'm gonna want to talk about, and because I'll sit here for the next 3-4 hours and keep on talking, honestly. But I want to be respectful of your times, mainly yours, discreet, because it's getting to be close to your bedtime. Because you're over the pond.
I can't get the dog first, and then it's bedtime.
Exactly. So we'll get you guys out of here in a little bit. But I definitely want to make sure I say this, and discreet. This is something that we bring up often enough on the show, because one of the main themes that we've been talking about today and getting to know Mak7teen, which again, bro, we can't thank you enough for joining us and making the time for us today, bro, and opening that door, getting outside with us. I want to make sure we don't leave without saying that specifically. But one of the biggest takeaways for me today in the themes is originality, authenticity, right? And being who you are and what you stand for, standing on them 10 toes for who you are, not what you're told to be by your block, your hood, society, whatever, right? And this is the point that we talk about a lot on this show, that we miss about hip hop, like at least more than mainstream, right? Because if you know enough about hip hop, you can go find what you're looking for. And what I'm talking about is, and I think it's beautiful that we have you on repping Sacramento today, because Sacramento has a sound, right? And one of the things that I like truly miss is hearing somebody more mainstream these days, right? And not knowing where the fuck they're from and who they're like repping, right? Like, what is that
Right.
sound? Like, because back in the day, what people would call the golden era specifically, right? That 90s period. You heard
Yeah.
something, whether it was a beat or once somebody started spitting, even if you didn't know what, like, you had some kind of indication of where this group was from or where this artist was
Yep.
from. And I sincerely, let's just call this a mini hot take built into the show today. I think that hip hop, I mean, I'm a believer. Let me say this first. Hip hop is not dead. Hip hop is not
Oh,
dead
no
at
way.
all.
It's
At
never
all.
going to
But
No.
my hot
No.
take is the mainstream, again, the mainstream, in comparison to what it was in the past, today is not as strong as it once was, because
It
the
ain't.
wrong agenda of hip hop is being pushed, and that's keeping the lid on the Sacramentos of the world, or even some artists, because there are some dope artists here in Oklahoma City. You got JB, Oklahoma artist that just dropped his most recent album November 2nd. Yeah, you got some other dudes who are doing some shit. You got some females who are out there doing the thing as well. But I think the place, I don't know. You guys with me on that? Like, there's just because of the
Yeah,
lack
the
of
powers that
that.
be do not want people like us three pushing our narrative. They don't want that.
Dude, no, that is, you're so right,
Mm.
Discreet, because it goes, our message goes against the
Exactly.
machine.
Yeah.
So because that message cannot be put onto no mainstream platform without them having the say. That's why you get
Got to
so
be
many
approved
people saying,
along the ladder.
yeah,
This is what
yeah,
got
you
me
can't,
when I was getting into music, and you hear,
yeah,
I've heard some beautiful tracks, and you think, how the hell is this not? How does the world not know about this? And then
yeah. No,
research, and you
I,
find out why, because the powers that be do not want that out there.
underground music has always had the ability
Mm,
to influence the masses more than mainstream, but the
definitely.
mainstream has more money and has a machine. It's the main
Yeah.
machine stream.
Yeah.
They have a machine that is well oiled and well running, to where they can go out there and put in front of your face, these million streams. You see how Kendrick's doing.
Brainwashing.
Mm.
And you see how Drake is doing when they're going back and forth. And you see how the other artists are doing. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And that's when you get that mainstream distribution, that mainstream, quote unquote money to play with. But that's just the mainstream is just a loan. Nobody understands that. They think that the mainstream means that you get that money, you keep that money. No, that's a loan that you got to pay back times two.
yeah.
So
They trap
is
you.
yeah. So it's like, okay, you got $100 million loan from the music bank, industry bank, and you got to pay them back 300 million, and you got to do
To be
everything that
honest,
they
they're
say
probably
to get
going
that
to do
money.
what they can to make sure you can't pay them back.
And that's where you get put into that red, and we never hear from you again. And now you're
Exactly.
working you're working somewhere to pay
Mm,
them back because now you're in debt, or you got
mm.
to file bankruptcy.
Bruno Mars. I'll say that
Oh, you're gonna be
Mm.
working in Vegas for the rest of your life.
then.
Mm.
That's
It's
that
Feel sorry for him. Like,
Elvis Presley syndrome. He got the
yep,
Elvis Presley syndrome for real. He
yeah,
does.
exactly.
Hmm.
But it's not just him; it's loads of them.
Yeah,
oh yes.
I've seen who was it? I said, oh, it was Ozzy Osbourne. And I was like, why is Ozzy still performing in Vegas?
Exactly.
Like, what is he said it a long time ago though. He signed a deal with the devil. He said that out of his
Yeah,
own mouth, not me. That was his words back in the days. So
yeah.
you like, oh, so you got to go to work still?
I've heard him say it. He don't explain it. He just says it, doesn't he?
He just, yeah. So it's
Signed the
like,
deal. Yeah, signed the deal with the devil, and that's that.
I just say, wow, okay. He admitted it at least. I mean, It may not be the red creature with horns, but he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's-
He knows what he signed up for, and I that's what I love about underground, and that's what I love about independent, right? And again, it really speaks to me, for being an entrepreneur. Like sometimes you got to play the long game. But the cool thing with that is, right, you might be an artist who has been doing this 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, whatever the case might be, until you get like the break that you're looking for. And when I say that, I don't mean the mainstream break, right? Like where you can put yourself in a position where like literally every day you can wake up, you're in a position you could wake up and make music every day because you just know you're good, right? You're in that
Yeah.
situation where I don't got to worry about what the bank account is necessarily
Yeah.
saying, right?
It's a difference as well. We're in it
Yep.
for making music, not the fame.
Well, and I
We
think
love
that gives you
music, not
creative
fame.
freedom. Oh, yes. And when you create, and we talk, the Fresh podcast talks about it. Our brothers, shout out to Shine and Bill Fresh to Don on the, they have on one of their podcast episodes, they talk about creating without expectations. Like if you can just go out there and create with the purest of intent and the right message, like we very much have spoken about Mak7teen today and and all his music, but go spin it all. But his most recent one, obviously, my time is now. Excuse me. He's got Elevation coming out next year that he's working on behind the scenes right now as well. That's what it's about. That's what music was ultimately made for, to be able to communicate certain things like these. If you really go down and if you really go down the history of music, specifically music in these United States, right? These United States. Some people are going to be very, very shocked at what they can find. And what I love about it is the history that comes with that. So if you people out here with us today, if you don't really know where music in the United States came from, go back and take a journey, because you are going to be shocked, fascinated, or like me, in awe to discover that history and where it really came from. It's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful story, especially if you have that level of appreciation for music and or history. Man, I will leave it at that. I will leave it at that on that
You're
note.
not lying, bro.
But that's my takeaway for today. I said it before, I'll say it again. The authenticity of today's conversation, the originality of artistry in general, specifically you as a human being and your experiences of life that is very much translated into your music. Mak7teen, like it's appreciated, bro. And I don't just say that, I mean
No, I do appreciate today as well. Thank you, Mark.
No, I appreciate you
It's been
guys reaching
insightful.
out and listening. I appreciate you guys tapping in, tuning in. Like, I appreciate you for picking my little bro Six up. You know what I mean, and checking out his music. You know what I mean. Like,
He's literally sick.
Sacramento. I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate. Nah, yeah, for real. The
Innit?
son of the sickness at that.
Exactly.
But I appreciate you guys and your love for Sacramento, West Coast. You know what I mean? Just the music at all. Because once again, without people like you to help us as artists, we basically just sitting at the house. You know what I mean? Or in the streets, or other venues doing other things without being able to reach out to the rest of the population out there.
Exactly. Just get to
So I
different
thank you
corners where
guys.
you can.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
nook
that's
and
the
cranny.
Yes, that's the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway from all interviews that people need to understand is that without these, you're basically just stuck in a local zone. So shout out to you guys for helping
Thank you.
artists spread that, you know what I'm saying, their notability on this here podcast.
Nah,
Thank
man,
you.
no, we do. We appreciate the time. Time is everything, and we appreciate you giving some of yours to us and all the outsiders that are watching this live with us today. As I told you, this will end up living on our YouTube channel forever,
Yeah.
as well, because the people that need to hear this message are going to hear it. That much I can promise you.
That's
And
what's
it's a
up.
beautiful thing. And no doubt, like I told you already, I was telling this people before we popped on here today about really getting to listen to your your music in a way yesterday because I had heard it as I told you in that message yesterday.
Mhm.
Really get to listen to it yesterday. Like it was very similar. And Street can tell you as the main producer of this EP, and he's already got like 8 tracks on the album that I'm
Yeah.
um, just from the feels that I really got from that real listen, Mak7teen, like music's all about feels, right? And I'm definitely gonna want to chop it up with you offline at some point because I relate to you as an artist with overcomings. You know, my track Abstemious was about my battle with alcohol. You know, my origin story. It took me 3 years to complete that entire track because I was afraid to look at shit that I had to look at and put, but I had a point. I had to get that shit done because I had to get that shit done. You know what I mean? I very
I know
much
what you mean.
relate to it. And if there's ever a scenario where we can get on the track together, I would love to because I think, you know, at least I'll speak for myself. Like the connection from the vibe standpoint and why we individually do the music that we do and the message that we're trying to put out is very much the reason that I do it for. And if for nothing else, appreciate it. And I'm working on an album that's going to be titled Hard Truths. And every track is going to be hard truth for whether it be me as an individual, society, a certain group of people.
See what I mean?
So
A album titled Hard Truths. I ain't getting out into the mainstream. Just joking. You
give
know
no
that's what I was
fuck.
saying.
It's all
It's gonna
good,
be
man. You
But
got
you
my
appreciate
email
what I'm
address,
saying,
man.
Yes.
You got my email address. You can send whatever it is. I go off the title of the song or the nature of the hook. You know what I mean? What you're speaking about in your verse, it matters, but it really doesn't matter as long as your hook or your title is what the song's gonna be about. I'll knock it out from there. I don't care if it's a letter. I don't care if it's 10 words, 5 words, 2 words, a phrase. I don't care. Whatever it's about, I'm on that. You know, like I say, I create from the inner, not the outer. And, you know, from the outer to the inner. So everything that I go through and see goes in, and what comes out is from the inside, not the outside. So, you know, I will most definitely take pleasure and, you know what I'm saying, getting on a track with you guys, man. You know what I mean? Whether you produce the beat or I find the beat, whatever it may be, or we could exchange back and forth, you know, however it may be, however you want to do it, I'm with it because it's for the love of this game, not for the, you know, kibbles and bits.
Exactly.
Appreciate that, man. Well, before we let you go about the rest of your day, we want to hand it over to you. Do you have any final words or thoughts or anything that you want to share with the outsiders here today before we bounce?
Man, look, if you don't see how it's spelled, it's MAK, the number 7, TEEN. MAK stands for music and knowledge. It's not a gun. Please don't think that Mak7teen is a gun, similar to the M16.
Music and
'Cause
knowledge.
it's
I'll
not.
remember.
It's music and knowledge because that's what I push. 7 is the, you know, the number 7, but the one in the 17 is 1 plus 8. So that's going to be something that represents infinity when we put it on its side. So
Yeah.
this is something that I'm gonna be doing forever until I can't do it no more. I want to be old
I like
with you know what I'm saying, with just memories of how many different people I've helped. I don't have to be rapping. I could be doing the camera. I could be doing something business. You know, I just want to be a part of the music because I love it that much, and I love the fans that much. I love the listeners that much. You know, so once again, I appreciate the outsiders. You know what I'm saying, for coming through, tuning in. Anybody that's on my live right now, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Um, you know, once again, Sacramento, man, we got our own thing, and we're gonna be pushing it, man. If anybody's wondering if they ever heard of any, you know, oh, Sacramento ain't, man. You know, we got Sibo, we got Brother Lynch, we got, you know what I'm saying, Lil Six, we got Mozzie, we got CML, we got all these rappers out here in Sacramento that you can check out. You got Nutty, we got the Nut Factor. You know what I'm saying, man? It's ridiculous. We got
Nova,
Louis
you heard of him?
Corleone. Who?
Mega Nova. A young kid.
Me- no, no, no. I haven't
Nah.
heard of Mega Nova,
But
but I'll check
he's
him
another
out.
one I know. He's cool as fuck. Cool as fuck.
I'll check him out. I don't have no problems or issues with anybody because You know what I mean? I already know what I present, what I represent. You know what I mean? Shout out to my homeboy FON Check. He on my album. You know, shout out to Agape, the producer, Chris Styles. You know what I mean? They're producers, Karma Beats, JP Banks. I mean, everybody that I've worked with, man, I appreciate everybody, and they know I do. You know what I'm saying? VP Rube, Mad Master Beats, Mad Hatter Beats. I mean, bro, it's just so many people, man, I appreciate, and I appreciate you guys, you know what I mean, and your podcast, and I just thank y'all, man, once again.
Nah,
Thank you.
nothing but love, bro. We appreciate you sharing everything that you shared with us and the outsiders today, bro. Hey, man, like we tell every new family member that opens that door and joins us at our house, which is outside. The door is always open to you. We're leaving that shit unlocked. Anytime you ever just want to pop out and come and do this again, man. You got a new album, whatever. We are always
It's all good.
do this again, man. Because
It's all love, man. I appreciate it.
our platform is just about bringing real people on and having real authentic conversation, and we can't ask for anything more, because that's what the real life and real world is really about, and that's what we want to make sure that we're showing the people out there, and just reminding them, for those that need a little reminder here and there along the way too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's what I liked about the whole situation of podcast. When I watched it, I seen it. I was like, oh, that's dope. They're getting the real side of my brother, man, and I appreciate that. And then, you know, you reached out and I was like, oh, wow, okay. Man, look, check this out. The way you guys handle yourselves, it would be an honor to be on this podcast. You know what I mean? And I want y'all to keep it up, man. Don't stop, man. Don't get discouraged, man. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing forward, man. Stay outside with it, man.
We do it for the love, and whatever comes of that comes with that. But we get to have 1 or 2 dope conversations with real people like yourself every week, except when we take like our little holiday breaks. And that's we just love this shit, dude. We love it,
Man,
we love it. So
that's what's
what
up,
it is,
man.
That's what it is.
That's what's up.
My brother,
Yes,
I
sir. That's
appreciate
what's
you.
up.
We are definitely going to link up. We are locked in already as it is, man. So again, nothing
Yep.
but respect, love. We appreciate the time today, bro. Y'all stay well.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you, guys.
Later, discreet.
Later,
See you later,
discreet.
man. Peace, guys.
Yes, sir.
Have a
Peace.
good day.